things at the same time. And I'm going to welcome everybody to our JCC Excellent Showcase. We are absolutely thrilled to have with us James Sokol, who many of you know. My name is Sarah Sless. I'm based in Israel and I work with the Center for Israel Engagement. And I also had the privilege of being on the committee that worked to decide upon the excellent showcase and the winners. And we had 60 of the most wonderful applications in the various different categories. And it was extremely hard to make our choices, but choices we had to make. Um, so we are thrilled that we have the platform for 17 showcases to be shown, and the rest of the wonderful program and management visionary ideas and staff retention ideas, they're going to be put together into a digital booklet that will be shared on the SpotMe platform after the conference. There were just too many good ideas not to share with everybody, but we just didn't have the literal bandwidth to be able to show everybody on the in this excellent showcase. We will be having Q&A at the end. Feel free to put your questions into the chat or unmute yourself at the end when James is ready to do so. So for many, James has become synonymous with Zooms and the pandemic in the most positive way. He's been the silver lining for many of us of this pandemic. But I am going to hand over straight to him because time is short and I want him to have as much time as possible. Over to you, James.
Well, thanks, Sarah. I appreciate it. And I'm so happy to be here. I love seeing so many of the faces that I get to work with. If you're a current Alliance member, give a wave, would you? I love it. Well, you guys, thank you for being a part of this. And those of you who are thinking about joining the Alliance or maybe thinking about creating an Alliance of your own, welcome to all of you. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to dive in quickly because we have a lot to cover and we only have 2.5 hours, right? I think I just gave Sarah a heart attack, by the way. Anyway, we'll fly through this as quickly as we can to leave time for question and discussions. So as everybody knows, it's the National JCC Adult and Senior Alliance. Let me tell you, those of you who are new to me, I'm not a big believer in reading slides or handouts. I'm happy to email these handouts to you afterwards, no worries, but I know everybody can read. And frankly, I find it a little insulting when people read to me because I'm, not 5 years old. Anyway, a little bit about our Alliance goals, really just quality online programming and making it easy for all of us to come together and offer these programs with really no risk to each of the Alliance partners. And I'll talk more about that later. We're also providing income to people who have had no income for the past year, performing artists, guides around the world, even small businesses in our tastings program who have lost 70 and 80% of their income. And so we're helping not only our community, but others as well. Now, as we go, I'll talk a little bit about each of the programs. The first one I want to talk about is Exploring Broadway and Broadway Backstage. This is a program, the first is Broadway appreciation classes that take different themes about Broadway using video clips and songs and whatnot. The second, Broadway Backstage, is interviews and discussions with guest artists from Broadway, Broadway stars, backstage people, management, etc., directors, conductors, everyone, to really take people backstage. Now, here's a current list. I think it's current. I don't know. It seems like it changes every day of Alliance partners. We have over 50 partners, thanks to those of you who are in the room who are part of our Alliance. Another program I want to talk about is one of our most popular called Still Traveling. It's armchair traveling. This is where we Zoom people to a location. We've done Broadway. We're doing Morocco next month. We just wrapped up Paris. We're going to Naples in June, where I have local guides. They're local professional guides from those locations, and they do a month-long series, once a week for the month, highlighting different aspects through videos that they've created, photos, presentations that they've done exclusively for us. So it's more than just a lecture of, someone getting up and talking about these places. It really feels like a trip. Folks love it. Now, there are several benefits to our alliance partners. First of all, this is cut and paste programming. Listen, we're all so stressed out these days in trying to create high quality, robust programming. Here it is. All you have to do is literally cut and paste. There you go. So it opens up time for alliance members to focus on other forms of engagement at their center, reopening the center, doing small online groups, personal outreach, etc. It also gives you a chance to complement your programs. We don't want to replace your programs. So you get to choose what programs work for you. If you're already offering Broadway, don't do ours. If opera is not something you've ever offered, but would make a nice addition to your programming, take ours. It's completely up to you. One of the benefits also is that I like to think it gives each of us access to different performers, special guests, instructors that on our own, we either wouldn't have access to or couldn't afford. But by all of us coming together, we can provide a meaningful honorarium to some of these people, especially the concert pianists and Broadway stars, which is really nice. One of the things I love about the Alliance is that it allows each of us within our own communities to expand our reach beyond our current membership, or even within the current membership to people who couldn't come to the center due to mobility issues, transportation issues, or maybe geography. They live too far away, or they drive, but they don't want to get on a freeway to come to us. And so we're able to engage more people that way. By the way, I did put my name and contact information at the bottom of all the slides. Feel free to jot it down. I'm happy to meet with you, once we get through the conference, because I know we're all juggling a lot these days. One of my favorite programs, because I'm a foodie, is our terrific tastings program. Oh my God, it's so fun. I work with local, well, I started out locally, but now I'm working with different food purveyors from all over the US. Small companies, often family-owned businesses, sometimes women-owned, minority-owned, to create special food collections that we mail off to the guests. And then we all get together for an online chat with the food purveyor, the creator, whether it's the cheese maker, the wine maker, the donut maker. We've done brownies for Cinco de Mayo. We're doing salsas, etc. They are a blast. And they're delicious. I've been really touched. In fact, I send these on to our COO, my boss, CEO, there you go. Somebody needs some coffee. Anyway, I get testimonials literally every week. I am so deeply touched by how we're engaging people and what it means to them. I can barely talk about it. There's one that I've listed, honestly, where this gal told me that she has an illness and she doesn't know how much time she has left. But it's the second quote. She said, "I have to live through March and April to be able to attend your programs." It's really something. But I have to say, I think we all do that. And I want everyone in this room to know you do that too. Our work is so important. Okay, now I got to pull it together. Another one of our programs is Music and Morsels, where we invite people to bring a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, and a cookie, take your front row seat at your computer and enjoy a live classical piano recital with this fantastic pianist, Ian Scarf. What makes Ian different is he's so approachable, and he talks about each of the pieces before actually playing them. And so it really engages people and they learn, and then there's Q&A at the end. It's really a special program. It's one we've done on site for years. People love it, and I'm delighted to be able to bring it to you. Post-pandemic, we are continuing on because, as I said, we see this as a way to continue to engage. Each of us is going to look at returning on site, of course, but there's still going to be those people who don't want to get out of their pajamas. Okay, I'm talking about others as well, but they don't want to get out of their pajamas, or like I said, they can't get to the center, or etc. And so we want to keep doing this. We're going to do it in our community, and we want to help you do it in yours. Again, so that you can focus on other parts of expanding your program. We got you covered. Exploring opera and exploring opera behind the scenes is very similar to Broadway, except opera. The first are appreciation classes. The second is discussions and insights with behind the scenes with singers, directors, and all the rest. My background is opera. I take care of those. I worked at Lincoln Center. Enough said. This is also a great fundraising opportunity. Now, if there are any fundraisers in the room, you know you're always looking for something new and exciting to excite donors and engage them. This is it. Those of you who are not fundraisers, pass this on to your development colleagues. You can, of course, name, put acknowledgements. When you send out the publicity, say, as I said here, still traveling is made possible by a generous gift from I am Hamish or whomever. So you can use this as a fundraising tool. And of course, 100% of the money that your center raises, you keep. Another one of our programs is our Songs of program, which is a free if it's a Jewish holiday, low cost, $5 if it's another type of either holiday or special event. You see the list upcoming and recent events on the left, and they're just fun and a nice break in the day. Here are the mechanics. This is kind of the meat of it. The pricing, we try to keep very reasonable. Like I said, from free, the Songs of for Jewish events, up to, well, most programs are $12.50. $15 at the door, if you will, like without advanced registration. Here's the deal, the ticket split. It's 30% to you on most programs, 50% for the Songs of and the tastings. That, of course, doesn't include the food cost. And so this is also a way that we want to support you. We're all in it together. This isn't a situation of here, I'm doing programs, you offer them for me. You're benefiting from this as well. And in fact, one of my colleagues in the room, hi, Michelle, she sends me notes every so often saying something to the effect of, thank you, we just got our check and it's helping me do some of my programs. And I'm really touched by that. It's very easy. As I said, you cut and paste the publicity materials, send it out to your folks. They register through Eventbrite. I have two-step tracking because we are dedicated to making sure you get the data and the money from your folks. I feel like I forgot something I was going to say. Two-step tracking. Oh, right. One is a dedicated link that we send to you, but then a second is that when people register, they have to choose their JCC through a pull-down menu. And so it's a sort of a double check, if you will. The data we send to you and the checks we send on a quarterly basis after, January, February, March, Q1, et cetera. And you'll get any data I get, you get. I will just organize it. It's in an Excel spreadsheet. So that way you can do with it what you will. Upload it into your database, give it to your development colleague to maybe do a mailing. So glad hope you enjoyed the Alliance programs. Please help support it. We want you to be able to continue to grow and engage your community. And what's been really fun is we found that there have been a handful of folks who came to us through different communities who had not been involved with their JCC yet. So that's kind of neat. We do not solicit your folks for donations, but we, of course, communicate with them about the Alliance programs. Now, a relatively new offering is our songs and stories. We're working with a jazz chanteuse. Sounds so important, doesn't it? And storyteller. She's based in Paris. And she does wonderful programs, kind of like Ian and the classical pianist, but this is with jazz and cabaret kind of music. She's actually, I think it's this month, about to do one on Jewish jazz, themed every month. This is kind of a glance at our monthly calendar. It's not sort of set in stone. We do all the trips on Mondays at 11 a.m. my time, San Francisco time, and we do opera or Broadway, and that rotates back and forth on Thursdays. Opera 1 month, Broadway the next, back and forth. Music and Morsels is always the first Wednesday. Songs and Stories always the third Wednesday. Tastings always on Sunday. And then the songs of depend on the holidays. If you'd like to become a partner, want more information, feel free to contact me. There's my contact information. You can see our upcoming offerings at the Alliance website, which is on Eventbrite. And all you have to do basically is send me an email saying, hey, James, we want to join the Alliance. Here are the programs we'd like to offer, and I'll get you the program packets and off we go. Now, if you're thinking about creating an alliance of some sort, I don't know all the rest that's out there, but preschool parent education or campers activities, maybe fitness programming or some others. It is a lot of work. Listen, I'm not going to lie, but you can see the payoffs in so many ways. You just have to plan your programs, which you're doing anyway. Make sure they're designed for online, of course. The policies and procedures take some time. Figure out those things, prices, fee splits, refund policies, and all the rest. Make sure you have the web-based ticketing, whether you use Eventbrite or Brown Bag, or maybe there are others, and make sure that that links well to whatever platform you're using, Click2 or Zoom, Teams, etc. I do recommend testing it locally. Maybe reach out to a couple local JCCs that maybe you've done some partnerships with already, and then do that maybe in month 1 or month 2, and then expand regionally, maybe within your time zone, and then you can launch it nationally. As the saying goes, it takes a village. I think it takes a JCC. That's my take. And it takes our village. Well, y'all, that is sort of it in a nutshell. I haven't had a chance to even look at chat because I was flying through it. Are there any, oh, I see a couple questions. Okay, Shayna, good question. Are the food companies kosher? Some yes, some no. As many know, it can be very expensive to be kosher certified. So there are some companies that say the ingredients we use don't even, apply, the kosher rules don't apply. So of course they're not going to get certification. There have been some companies we've used that are kosher, and again, others not. What I do, though, is a few people, only actually 4 in this whole year, have written me saying, is this kosher, yes or no? And of course I answer that. But one of our colleagues had a great idea of kind of listing on each of the tastings websites, is it kosher, is it vegan, et cetera, because there's so many culinary restrictions these days. So that's something I'm going to start doing, just to make it accessible for all. But now, we will never do a shrimp tasting or a pork tasting, don't worry. But we recognize in our center that, people are at different places on their Jewish journey. There are people who don't keep kosher at all. There are people who keep kosher in their home, but when they go out, they will have whatever, including shrimp and pork. So we have a cheese that's not kosher, but we leave it up to the buyer. If they need to do what's good for them. If they keep kosher, then by all means, don't do this tasting. If they don't keep kosher, join us and have that wine, have that cheese. Between us, I got a lot of people coming to the tastings who don't care. Anyway, so that gives you some idea about kosher. Let's see. Oh, Trudy, so nice of you to say it couldn't be easier. Thank you for that. Yeah, I literally email you a packet that includes text, link, photo. All you have to do is forward it on to your marketing department here, and I do it program by program to make it as easy as possible for you and for your marketing department. So you don't have to download this or that or go to web-based files or, get photos confused. I try to make it as easy as possible. And by the way, if you have any suggestions, my Alliance members, feel free. By the way, in the programs, I often get people saying, oh, thanks for this. This is great. And I often say back, almost always, say back, don't thank me, thank your local JCC. That's important. We are in this together. And I'm a big believer we shouldn't be cannibalizing each other's populations. We need to be supporting each other's populations. So my goal is to help you bring more people to you. And I see the Alliance as a portal for that. Let's see. Oh my gosh, the feedback here is crazy. Let's see. How much lead time do you need for the shipping? Great question, Marcy. For most of the tastings, registration closes 2 weeks before. The tastings are always on Sunday. And so the registration closes at midnight that Sunday night. And then the orders go in Monday. There is an exception to that, which is in June. I'm working with a company, a young couple. They're adorable. I'm working with this young couple in Hawaii. And so that takes a little longer. So that's a three weeks, but usually it's only 2 weeks. Let's see.
James, there's a question for the travel to add Jewish element. Will the tour guides include some Jewish stops? That comes from Trudy Crane.
Super, super Trudy. Yes, when there is a Jewish, an organic Jewish aspect to a place, absolutely. Let's see, last fall we did Marrakesh. In Morocco, that city offers so much. We did 4 sessions just on Marrakesh. One of them was fully dedicated to Jewish Morocco. So very focused. We just wrapped up a trip to Paris. Again, one of those focused exclusively on the Marais, the Jewish district. Now that district does include some non-Jewish things, which were highlighted as well. Venice, yes, Catherine, thanks for the reminder. We did a whole session on the Jewish ghetto. Now, for instance, next month in May, we're going back to Morocco, but we're going outside of Marrakesh. So we're not doing a dedicated trip to Jewish Morocco. We've done that. But some of the towns we go to may have an important synagogue, so that'll be a part of it. So I do whatever is organic to that destination, that city. Oh, Marcy, we don't yet have closed captions. I know that exists on Zoom, and quite frankly, I'm not there yet, but I'm learning, so stay tuned. Deborah, at the Bender, how far in advance are programs set? Well, it depends how quickly I can work. I try to get them set at least 2 months in advance. May and June are currently out for registration. I'm working on July. I'm racing as fast as I can. I try to get them at least 2 months. If I can ever catch up to getting to 3 months, I will. I'm kind of racing as fast as I can. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Let's see. Sarah, have I missed anything else?
I'm looking through myself. Lots of praise, James. This is your real fan. Half the group here is your fan club, if not more. But I am looking for other things.
I found
James, one of the things that I did ask you at one point was, what are some of the tricky bits? Share with your colleagues what are some of the things, the pitfalls, some of the things people should be looking out for?
Sure. No, that's, of course, customer service. I mean, listen, we're all in the same customer service boat. People don't read, right? Can I ask for a show of hands? How many have at least one customer that don't read? Okay, enough said, don't need to explain the rest. So that's part of it, customer service. And by the way, in this year of doing this stuff with the literally probably a few thousand customers we have had a couple sort of run-ins, I would say 3, maybe 4, but please know I got your back. that if there's an issue with a customer, with one of your guests, somebody in your community, I will reach out to you and say, this is going on. Here's how I'd like to handle it. I don't throw them to you. I want you to be the good guy. If we need to do good cop, bad cop, let me be the bad cop. I'm good at it. But no, I want to paint you guys in the best light possible. And so if we have to set some boundaries, which can be hard, we talked about that this morning, I'm happy to do that. So I got your back, don't worry. Lisa had asked about advanced knowledge of the Broadway guests. Yes, I do. They're not surprised. I actually put each time who the guest is going to be, maybe a little bit about them. We've had actually several actors, singing actors, et cetera. I usually try to do a headshot of them or a performance photo and talk about who they are, so people know who they're going to be meeting. Now, having said that, you know, Broadway is Broadway. At the 11th hour, I actually had somebody cancel last time. And it was someone who's up for a big role. I'm not allowed to talk about it, but it's really exciting. Well, I can talk about it. He is covering Hugh Jackman in The Music Man when Broadway opens back up. And so he called me at literally 2 hours before. He said, I can't do it. I'm so sorry. I've been called into this event. No worries. The show must go on. And we turned like that and got another terrific actor who'd been starring in another musical. So worked out well.
Wow.
Sarah, I know you have some announcements, and I see we only have about 2 minutes left. Let me turn it back to you. But thanks, everyone. Contact me if you have any questions or if I can help you guys in any way.
So, James, thank you. I think there's no question that the award that you won as one of the excellent showcases was well deserved. You, not only for you and your own JCC, and Judy wrote in the chat what a great benefit this has been to the JCC, but for JCCs around you. And I think this concept of sharing and helping each other is just wonderful. As I said earlier, it's really one of the silver linings of this pandemic, and long may it continue. So the show must go on, and I'm going to remind everybody that at 5:15 Eastern Time, join us at the J Cafe. It's a virtual cafe lounge. It's called Kumu Space. It's quite fun. It's another way to explore. It's not a Zoom looking thing. It's little spaces that you can create intimate groups and quiet little conversations, and less intimate. Because that's what we all miss at this conference, right? It's the schmoozing and the talking and the bumping into each other, and having coffees together, or gin and tonics together, depending on your preference. So that's at 5:15. Tomorrow, remember to do the Mindful Motivator starting at 12 Eastern. The wonderful thing, it's 15 minutes just to get you focused on the day, to get your mood right, and join that. And then we have some more wonderful enrichment electives tomorrow. And I can't believe it's Thursday already, and we're going to be closing with the JCC movement moment. So thank you for joining us today. Thank you, James, again, for all that you do and for your inspiration and the passion with which you do your job, which is so much more than just a job. Thank you, everybody. And somebody asked, you will be able to get the materials, and they will be on SpotMe, and the recording will be on the JCC YouTube channel again after the conference. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.